So today I'm going to be going through a study which looks into age preferences when it comes to dating. In this study, it looks into whether men and also women prefer younger or older partners when it comes to dating online. So maybe we can apply this online preference to a real life preference. It's got some quite interesting results, so I'll jump into some of the data now. This is the name of the study if you are interested at all. Now, this is our first lot of data, which I actually find quite confusing, so I'm going to run through exactly what it all means. Let's take number 1 of figure 1. So basically that graph on the left. The y-axis is mean fraction, which is 0 to 1. So I kind of take that as probability. So 1 means it's definitely going to happen and 0 means it's not going to happen. And age is on the bottom. Now this will make a bit more sense, I reckon, once I start explaining the results. So for example, in graph 1, you can see how it's around 0.8 and it's titled men, female target has same age. So that's basically the probability of a man at 18, 20 going for a woman at the same age. But as they go down towards like 30, 35, they're way less likely to get a woman of the same age. And you can see that gradually goes down over time. Now we can say from that, maybe the men are gathering more resources and status so they can get a younger woman, and that might be what men look for. And also as they're getting older, they don't want someone quite as old as them. Now number 2, you can see with the women on the right, women who are 18, 20, there's a very low probability that they're going to go for a man of the same age. But this gradually increases to about 0.4 when they get to the age of like 30, but it's still nowhere near as high as it was initially with the men. Next up is these two graphs. Now number 3 is the chance of a man going for someone who is older than them, so an older female. As you can see, this is pretty minimal and it's peaked at the younger ages at 0.2, but it pretty much dies down to nothing at 70. And yeah, it's pretty minimal throughout. But you can see women, especially when they're younger, way likely to target a man who is older. And I love the way they use target as well, like they're gonna, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, you can see when women are younger, it's nearly a 1 probability, and that just gradually goes down and down as they get older. Now this could be because they might not have as much value as they get older, so they, go for different types of men, or maybe they just have more security, so they don't really care so much about going for older guys. I don't know. You can interpret it however you want, really. Next is number 5. So the chance of men going for a female who is younger than them. At the start, there's not much probability, and this spikes up a lot by the age 30, levels out a bit, but still gradually goes up more and more. Then the chances of a woman going for someone who is younger, that is very low at the start and starts going up at like 30 or just before then, and does like gradually increase, but it's still nowhere near as high as the guys. So this is the overall summed probability. I feel like this isn't exactly clear, so I do have a version I filled in a little bit, and I realize it's still a bit crass, but it's way better than it was. So the summed probability, this is the overall probability. So if you look on the left for women, especially, and this is pretty consistent for even when they're getting older, the middle part almost equal or older. So women are pretty much going to go for someone their own age or older most of the time, and you can see quite a significant chunk for older as well, especially when the women themselves are younger. And if you look at the bottom right, women going for younger or almost equal increases a lot as they get older. Then you got the bit at the top which is just don't matter. You got equal through the middle as well. Now for men, you have a big chunk, especially when they're younger, that doesn't matter, and you can see a big proportion of the men, they're going to go for someone who is younger or almost equal, and as they get older, they're way more likely to go for someone younger. So it kind of supports the classical that men go for someone younger and women go for someone older, normally because it brings more security and status. Now I do think it is interesting to have the ages there, because it's not just like a blanket rule, and this does change with age. I think even the study, they mentioned that there's a lot less reproductive value when you're getting older, so this might affect choices. Particularly women might just want to go for someone who's more attractive, maybe not to mate with, but maybe because men can still have kids quite old, maybe that's why they're still going for people when they're younger, or maybe it's just a social thing, like a status thing, having the younger woman. Anyway, it does kind of lean into whole cliche attitude about, older men and younger women, but it's still interesting. It is online dating, so you could say it's not completely reliable to real life, but it seems pretty applicable in my opinion. Anyway, I thought it was cool. I thought it was fun to make this. I didn't really like the graphs included in this. I don't think they were the easiest to understand, and obviously I had to add to their last one, but generally it was quite an interesting, cool study to read, and you can just find it online. It's free to read, etc. If you want to dive into it a bit more. I think it was about 25 pages, the PDF, if you want to read through the whole thing. But anyway, yeah, it was good. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.